Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really important opportunity for us to, again, earn our way through another knockout game. Obviously, anytime you have the club has an opportunity to go for a trophy, you want to go for it. And so that's our plan. The training has been a quick turnaround, obviously, from a hard-fought Saturday match. So there's been a real focus on recovery in the group, making sure that we're, getting the guys prepared as much as we can for DC, but making sure that the guys are as fresh as possible to put in a really good performance in front of our home crowd in Geodis. And DC United's a team that we're familiar with, right? We've played them already 2 times, I think, and now 3 maybe. And so, I think, again, every time we've had an opportunity to play them, we've learned a little bit more about ourselves and how to go it. And so we just look forward to, again, taking those kind of little tweaks and opportunities to improve ourselves and put it back on display tomorrow night.
Okay, we'll start with Ben and come down the line, and as always, feel free to ask too if you have them.
BJ, in other games, it's maybe been a little bit harder to kind of take something from the last game, just since it has typically been a lot longer that you played the team, but I think DC was 2 weeks ago maybe. Does it feel at all like you've only played DC this season, and what can you take from the last game against them?
Yeah, no, it's certainly a short turnaround, right? And so I think what we can take from DC is I thought, some of our moments on the ball could have been better. Ways that we tried to create goal-scoring opportunities could have been better. Opportunities to build pressure could have probably improved. So I think we'll take a lot of those learning lessons. At the same time, I think it's going to be a little bit of a different look, DC. You saw Benteke play last week or on the weekend, and, he's a big focus point for them. They have Aaron Herrera, who's going to be back, who's a really good player, had a great tournament, and congratulations to him playing with Guatemala. I thought they were really, it was really impressive to watch their run through the Gold Cup, something they should be proud of. So I think it'll be a little bit of a different look team, so it'll create new challenges for us, but we're preparing well this week for it.
And then a huge match against Philadelphia last weekend, a big trip to Miami coming up this coming weekend. How are you attempting to kind of balance winning this game and putting out the strongest possible lineup while also kind of keeping an eye on maintaining form in MLS?
Yeah, we kind of went through this same situation in May. And so we're leaning a lot about those experiences that we've had in May on how to sort of, keep guys fresh and balance this, I would say, your MLS season schedule and really being a competitive team and going for the Open Cup. So I think from there, we'll be able to field a really strong team. And our standards and expectations remain the same. If you want to be a top-level team and a club that really pursues trophies in your future, you're going to have to learn how to play congested schedules, and we're confident in the depth that we have in this team, and we're confident because we've seen guys step up, and it's going to be no different over the next couple matches.
Jacob?
Yeah, BJ, I wanted to ask about Walker Zimmermann, Jacob Schaffelberg, both those guys coming out from the Gold Cup. I know Schaffelberg was out listed with a hip injury on Saturday. I guess what do you expect from him? Do you expect him to be and with Walker, when do you expect him to be available for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, Walker comes back fine. Jacob still is questionable with the hip. It's kind of, we got to keep seeing how he responds each day. Walker's available for selection. Came back, today was his first day in training. Had some travel delays through the storms we keep getting here in Nashville. So again, just a little bit. We'll figure that out by the end of the day or tomorrow. But again, for us, I think we can still be able to field a strong team.
And what do you think were maybe the biggest things you were able to pick up from Saturday against Philadelphia? Just having to play 10 men, having to play with 10 men. You went to maybe more of a compact system and really focus on taking away their set pieces and attacking for free kicks. How do you think that can help you against DC, knowing Benteke is such an aerial threat?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us it was the first time we played down a man, and so it was not an experience you want to have to go through, but when you go through it, you continue to learn from it. And one of the biggest takeaways, I think, is how we have to be able to play and compete and still keep a mentality of that we want to win games, even when you come up with some of that adversity. And when you look towards something like the Open Cup, there's an opportunity that this game goes 120 minutes, and that's not something that we're going to be fearful of. It's something that we're going to embrace and say if we have to go 120 minutes, we know that we can go all the way down to the last second, the last whistle, the last play of a game, and still find a way to win and and if we have to go to penalties, then, we'll be prepared for that. So I think from us, it's just knowing the group has a strong mentality that we're willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to find a way to get 3 points or to advance in the next round specific to the Open Cup.
BJ, we were talking to Jack Mayer earlier, and he mentioned the sort of now all the words you were saying, the belief is kind of coming true with this unbeaten streak that you have going on. What sort of conversations are you having with the players about this streak, and how important is it to just kind of have that something tangible to kind of hold on to?
Yeah, and I don't so for us, I don't think we specifically talk about the streak. I mean, again, we talk about staying consistent the way that we prepare, the way that we want to go about things, but at the same time, challenging ourselves to continue to elevate what we do. We're not asking anybody in this building to do more. All we're saying is, how do we continue to get better at the things that we already do, and really be focused on that. And that for all of us, it keeps us a little bit grounded, in the sense that there's always little things that we can incrementally get better at. And each time we go play, win, lose, or draw, we're able to extract, a couple elements, because each team's coming in to try and do something different and beat us in different ways. And that's just the beauty of it, that each new challenge that we get is an opportunity for us to get a little bit better, and it actually strengthens us and makes us a better team. And hopefully we can continue to get good results, but just kind of become a better team as we hit the home stretch.
And then just on Tyler Boyd, obviously coming back from a very long-term injury, has there been any setbacks or updates in his situation and kind of coming back into the field?
No setbacks, no real updates. He's sort of in pretty much the progression that we expected, where he's in elements of team training, the introduction to some of those, and then continuing to push just off to the side, but he's back on the field, training, and the progression that he's following is, I would say, as expected.
Right.
Do you enjoy the congested schedule? I know we talked about May, but now you've got 3 games in 8 days. Do you enjoy that?
I mean, I think it's positive and negative. I think we all like the quick turnaround. We all want to be part of games, and so we do like that consistency. But at the same time, I'm probably someone who would rather spend a lot more time on the training ground working with the team, and we get a lot less of that on the field, and we have to do a lot more of that kind of in the video room. So for us, it's just a different challenge. But I think we all like to compete, so the more opportunities and the quicker the time we get to compete, probably the better.
Obviously, Sam and Hani have delivered in a huge way for you guys in the goal department, but getting Jacob back, how important is that for you in developing some frontline depth and scoring?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think as you go through a congested period, it's another really good player to come into the squad, create competition in the group, and then he has obviously a different profile. So it's another little button you can push when you have a profile like Jacob that can really, I would say, threaten the space behind, make defenses uncomfortable. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a welcome back into the group. And again, I think we keep talking about it's just another player, him and Walker coming back, that can elevate what we're already doing here.
And I think you already touched on it a little bit, talking about the Open Cup and being in these knockout games. Ultimately, you want to win the MLS championship. How much can these knockout games help prepare you for when playoff time gets here?
Yeah, in any sort of scenario that you play, when it's one and done, there's an added element of urgency, I would say. And so anytime you can live through those experiences, they're going to pay dividends when if we have to go to the MLS playoffs and sort of live in that environment. And they come few and far between, right? You can't create that anywhere else. A regular season game doesn't have that. So you really have to be able to extract that information from the group and let them live those experiences and live that feeling of urgency in a knockout, and then you kind of bottle that up and try to reflect back on it when you need to use it again. So this tournament is very important to us. These knockout games like tomorrow night is really important because we know that hopefully we're successful, but either way we'll take it and hopefully earn the opportunity to apply it later in the season.
We'll go to Charlie on the Zoom.
Hey BJ, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Hey, this is Charlie Bone from MLSsoccer.com. Thanks for your time. I'm writing about Sam this week, and I was just hoping I could ask you for maybe a little insight into what you've learned about him as a player and as a person, you know, this season, maybe a little bit about what makes him tick and how you've used that to kind of help him find his best level.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Sam is someone who works on his game a ton. You know, and I think that's a really important attribute to him is, you know, him scoring goals is a byproduct of how much he works at scoring goals, and learning how to position himself and make runs into penalty boxes and read spaces in the defense. In addition, I think he's got a really good level of self-awareness about himself as to where he prefers to score from. And then collectively as a group, the group has responded in, you know, I would say setting him up and setting Hani up, and all the contributions that we've had throughout the year in goal scoring is that we want to put goal scorers in goal scoring positions. And we know where he likes the ball, and it's our job to sort of recreate those, I would say, scenarios as much as possible. And, you know, I think his commitment to that is what has really, I think, stood out to me.
And also, what would the Golden Boot, not only winning it, but maybe just having that chase, mean for both Sam and the team to kind of maybe have that little goal to strive for?
I mean, I would say for us, we're much more focused on team goals. We know individual accolades, individual accomplishments, individual recognition for all of us will come if the team's successful. And, you know, I think we've really bonded behind that and that belief in this group that, you know, being focused on having a successful team season and representing Nashville and giving them as many wins as possible this city, then all of the other things will be extra for us.